Okay, Jen, I'm going to try my best to switch this camera around so it works for all these exercises. Um, I'm going to do I'll send you two videos. This will be one for day one, and then I'll do another one for day two. So with the push-ups, you don't necessarily have to have stairs as long as you have like an elevated platform. So that's where you can kind of practice, and then you can practice the full push-up by even just doing the negative. That will help. So if you have the elevated surface, you might want to be higher than me, but you are for the warm-up. Not the warm-up. The first three push-up sets that are just kind of for skill, you're not going to anywhere close to failure. So one thing is when you have your hands on the floor on the elevated surface, think like you're snapping, like you're grabbing it and snapping. So you don't have to actually have your elbows tucked in like this, but the motion of tucking them in and engaging your lat is going to give you a stronger push-up. So you know how to do a push-up, but straight back, tuck the elbows in so you're torquing the floor down and then back up. You can practice the positive part of the movement fast with the warm-up sets, the skill sets, because you're just practicing the movement. So do a set of 3, 4, 5, whatever you get to. As soon as it starts to get kind of challenging, stop. Take a break, do it again. From the floor, if you want to practice a couple of those, you're going to go like this. So it's just picture me setting up off the floor and then just doing the lowering portion all the way. And then stop at the bottom and then put your knee down. You can do that for one of those sets too. And then when you get to the actual working set, which would be like, say, set 4. So say you do set of 5, stop, set of 5, stop, and then a set of a couple of negatives, maybe 3 or so of the negatives. And then you're going to do the actual push-up set. So you want to do it from an elevated platform. You could even probably do it from a countertop. I know that's going to seem like really steep, like you're going to be on an incline like this, but you want it to feel, the first couple reps you want to feel easy, because when you do them, you're going to find out when you do the reps really slow positive, really slow negative, like 5 seconds or more, you want to do, like, you can even do 10 seconds. It's going to be tough, and you want to take that all the way until you can't. You might even get a little bit of a shake. The shake is okay. That's the nervous system kind of telling your body what needs to get stronger for next time. And then as soon as you hit that spot and you can't go any further, you can stop. And then if you want, you can even add a couple of extra super, super slow negatives at that elevated platform. And that's going to completely hit your muscles that you're looking at for the push-up, which is like chest, front delts, triceps. And then just do that one set and that's it. So push-ups would be like, say 3 sets of a few, and you want to mark down what you're doing there. And so what you're doing with the push-up, you're working the skill part of it with the first 3 sets. So you're basically building up. Let's say that you're doing 60% of your max effort. You're building that 60% of max effort. So let's say that on week 1, you're only doing, you got 5 reps. The next week, maybe you'll get 6 before you get really fatigued. And then that last working set, the one where you're going to failure, you're going to be building muscle, but you're also going to get stronger with that too. Anytime that you're like getting to failure, that's building strength, that's building power, that's building everything. The whole training fast makes you fast. I'm not too sure on that one. What I do know is this type of training is super, super safe, and it's great for muscle. I've done mostly this type of training for the last probably 1.5 years, and I'm at my strongest. So with grappling. Okay, so that's push-ups. Next one arm row. I know you know this one, so I'm not going to go over in too much detail, but just a couple little things. You're pulling up with your elbow. Just think like your hands are just like your fingers are like a hook, and you're pulling up at the elbow. Now this one, because you have all the way to the bottom, don't stay at the bottom too long. Kind of think like you're hanging the weight off of your lat. So your lat should always feel like it's engaged the whole time. Okay? Now, with that one arm row, because you only have a 20-pound dumbbell, this one might be a very quick to failure. And like I said in the email, as long as you're going 30 seconds or more, the set is 30 seconds long, that's enough time under tension. You don't need to worry about it. When you hit that sticking point, you hit failure, again, lower it down slow. Because what will happen is, and this is for all these exercises, the positive is going to give up first. When this gives up and you can't quite get the full rep, you're a lot stronger here. That's why it's nice to do this with a partner, because then they can pick your arm up to the top and then you can do one slow negative. But you don't have that, so that's fine. You get up to here, can't go any further, slow negative back down, and then maybe try another one. You'll only get like maybe a quarter rep and then back down again. That's how you're truly fatiguing the muscle all the way through. As soon as that set's done, stop, switch arms, move on to the next exercise. If you do one set effectively, you shouldn't have to do a second. That's the beauty of this workout, is that it doesn't take that much time to do, especially once you've done it a few times. You know your routine, you know what you're doing, you can get in and out quick. Overhead press. Ideally, your overhead press is your back is up against something. So I know you don't have a bench, but even if you have like a chair or something that you can sit, because what will happen when you have an overhead press when you're standing or just sitting without something on resting on your back is you'll start to kind of like lean back and use some back muscles. With this type of like your full body stuff comes from grappling. That's like your full body, you're moving in all different kinds of ways. This kind of training, you're targeting certain muscles to engage with certain exercises. So it's not that you don't want to use more muscles than one for an exercise. Like a push-up, again, you hit your chest, your triceps, and your front delts. But you're kind of, when you're doing an overhead press, you start to kind of like lean back, and it's that awkward mid-back part, and it doesn't really do much for you. So if you can lean up against something and make it strict, it's better. Also, if you have any kind of shoulder issues, just think you can move your elbows forward a little bit and is going straight up. It's still hitting the same spots. You don't have to go all the way back here. If you find that back here there's some shoulder issues, because let's be honest, you're a jiu-jitsu chick now, so you're going to have things like that. They are going to come up, and you're going to have to find ways to work around them. So as you get shoulder, impingements and so on, the yoga obviously is going to be amazing for that. But if you get to a point where like when I do an overhead press with my elbows all the way back, it's not great for my shoulder, so I just pull my elbows in a little bit forward. Oh, sorry. You only have, for your overhead press, you only have 20 pounds. So what you're going to do is take the weight like this in both hands and go straight up. Okay, it's going to hit the exact same muscles, just a little bit, looks a little bit different because you have your hands are here instead of here. Okay, not a big deal. When you have your forearm forklift right here, what you can do is find your hands in the loops. Okay, put the strap underneath your chair, and you can use the isometric strap. So with the isometrics, I'm going to go over, actually I'll wait until the next video because I'm going to go over isometrics and the resistance bands in more detail, because I want to demonstrate what it kind of looks like for a second, because the isometrics are a little bit different than the free weights. So free weights and machines are pretty similar, right? When it comes to the weight, resistance bands are different because the most tension is at the end of the movement, because that's when the band is stretched out. So there's a little bit more squeezing and pausing. And the isometrics, obviously, you're pulling up against something that can't move, so it's different in how you do the timing, but I'll explain that in the next one. Lat pullover. So let's see if I can do this here. So this is another one that you can do for your lats instead of a pull-up. So in the next video, I'll talk about having, if you can put your forearm forklift strap over something to do the pull-up motion, or with your band, I'll show that. But for this one, the lat pullover, so what you're going to do is you can lay flat. You don't have to have a bench for this. And you're going to put the weight up like this, okay? And your arms, instead of it being like a tricep exercise where your arms are bent doing this, you're going to keep your arms straight all the way up. And you're going to lower the weight down until, I mean, in this case, because it's off the floor, it'll have to hit the ground. And that's okay. You're only losing a little tiny bit of movement. So you're up like this, and you lower to the floor, and then back up again. Up to right above your face, and then back down again. Now, as long as whoops. What have I done here? There we go. As long as your arms stay straight when you do that, it's going to hit here. As soon as you bend your arms, don't do that, that's going to hit here. And that's on a different, we're hitting triceps in other places. So you want to target the lats with this one. Okay, the pull-up is a better, it does hit the lat a little bit cleaner. But this is a good exercise if you don't have the ability for that. I love this exercise. When you do it right with the arms straight, it really hits the lats really well. Squat with a 20. I don't have to show you how to do a squat. Grab your 20-pound like goblet. What you're going to do is, this one will be tough, but it's supposed to be. You're going to go down as slow as you possibly can to full range of motion, so full depth, whatever that is for you, and then back up again slow. Now you're going to hit failure probably fairly quick because you're only going to get a few reps in of that speed because it's 20 pound. And then as soon as you hit failure, you're going to throw the weight down. And actually, if you wanted to, you could do a big drop set where you do 20 pounds until failure, drop that, pick up the 5 pounds or pick up both 5-pound dumbbells and hold them here, and then do another couple reps, same speed, drop another 5-pound, go down to just 1 5-pound, and then at the end you're going to finish with a body weight. So that'll be a pretty long set, and it'll be fatiguing, but it's your biggest muscle group with the legs, and you're like if you're doing the squats a little bit wider, you're hitting, you know what you're hitting glutes, you're hitting the quads, the whole deal. So that can be a bigger, longer set. So anytime that you start with one weight and then you drop down to a lower weight halfway through the set, that's called a drop set. That's a really good way to fatigue the muscles. So goblet with a 20, drop down, do your squats nice and slow. Again, same thing, 5 seconds at least, and then 5 seconds back up again. Certain exercises you do have to kind of swing the weight up a little bit at the end, and that's okay, but I don't think that... yeah, you don't have any of those exercises, so you're fine. But you can definitely do that. So 20 pounds to start with, and then you drop that weight, pick up both 5s, do a couple more reps until you, again, start hitting failure, drop that, do just the 5, and then the body weight at the end. And that will be a killer set. Probably after that one, you might want to take your longer rest period. You might want to take your 3 minutes instead of 1 because you should be pretty fatigued after that if you're doing it right. As long as you're doing it slow enough, you will absolutely fatigue you'll feel like after that one set of squats that you just did 10 sets of back squats, or you just did 50 walking lunges in a row. When you do it slow like that, you slowly, and you fatigue that muscle so well, but it's so safe for your joints. That's why I recommend this style of training for anybody who does jiu-jitsu, because there's there's very little risk to it at all. Slow sit up. So a sit up, you can do a crunch if the sit up bugs you. But literally just go as slow as you can and hold that tension at the top. When you get to the point where you're done and you're crunch and you're holding that, you're get to the top of the crunch and you're squeezing your abs and then slowly back down again. The way that I like to do it is like this. Put my hands up and I go. As soon as that kind of eases off my stomach, and I stop and I slowly go back down again. Super, super, super slow. What I would do is I would have put your feet under something so that they are held down. It's probably a little easier that way, but go super, super slow up, super, super slow down. And you just hold it at that top part and then slowly back down again. You won't be able to get a ton of reps because it's going to be super fatiguing for you. The last one's the neck. I have shown this before, but this will take 6 minutes total. And this one you're going to do for both days, as you saw on that. So what you're going to do is, it's an isometric, so you're pushing into something that's basically immovable, okay, for a couple of these. The first one, you're going to lay down on the floor and you're going to dig the back of your head into the mat, like you're trying to push the back of your head through the mat. 30 seconds, you're going to go at about half of your potential, half your max. So like 50%. And then you're going to go, for the next 30 seconds, you're going to go hard, like 90%, okay? As soon as that 30 seconds is up, stop, turn over, so just lay down and push the tip of your forehead into the mat. Same thing. And you're pushing down this way. That's working these guys here, okay? Push the forehead into your mat. Same thing. 30 seconds at 50%. 30 seconds at 90%. Okay, then the next one, you sit up and you're gonna push against your head. So you're pushing against your head and you're going like this with your head. So it's just strong. Okay. Same thing. Find the tension, 50%, and then go to 90. Okay. What you can do too is you can always go 50%, and then as soon as it hits 30, you go 40 or 60, 70, 80, 90, and then you hold that 90%. Okay. Same thing on the other side. So that's 4, and then you're going to do rotation. Now this one, there is some movement to it. That's okay. You're going to push your face like you're turning, and you're going to slowly overpower your arm. Like that. And it looks kind of silly, but it really works this muscle in here. So just keep doing that 1, and then stop. Do it again. 2, and you're pushing into your face, and you're turning against your hand. Super, super safe because you're using your own body weight. And if anything kind of feels strange as you're doing it, you're going to let go so quickly that it's not going to be a problem. So both directions, same thing, 30 seconds. Go hard the last 30 seconds. Next one, same thing, maybe 50% resistance. And then you're going to go 90% resistance. So you're really pushing into your face. This one kind of looks silly, but it's super effective for your neck. And grapplers should always be training their neck. So that's day 1, okay? Recap. Push-ups, 3 sets of skill work. So you're just looking at lowering down and back up again. You can do the positive portion of the push-up a little bit more explosive if you want to, but it's not necessary. Full range of motion. And then, so maybe say 2 of those, and then 1 set of off the ground, just negatives. Okay, so just get to the top of the push-up and lower yourself down super slow. Okay? And then eventually what's going to happen is you're going to lower yourself down and you're going to come off the ground a little bit on the positive, and then you're going to stop. And that's okay. Do a couple sets of those. And then your working set of push-ups. So off that elevated surface, again, can even be a countertop. And you're going to go down slow, 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 slow. And back up slow, 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 slow. As many times as you can until you absolutely cannot do another rep. And then maybe do 1 extra big, long negative. That's it. Move on to the next exercise. 1 arm row, overhead press, lat pull over, squats, slow sit up, neck. Okay, full body, and probably, honestly, once you do this a couple times, it'll be 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. Okay, video 2 coming up.